Good morning, young scholars. This morning, vocabulary, bringing you some words in the words of our lovely Hamlet. I noticed that our vocab sets, these videos have gotten longer and longer each time, so I'm going to try and make this faster. All right, so our first word today is beleaguer. And it is a verb that means to cause constant or repeated trouble. And this originally meant to surround with military forces, but now it kind of just means to cause trouble. So you might say, students beleaguer Ms. Zongker every day. They just surround me with constant trouble. Not really, but it would be a good sentence. Okay, so here we go. Our next word is chicanery. It's a noun, and it means deception or trickery. It's just a really cool word, and it reminds me of chiclets for obvious reasons. So maybe if you could connect little tiny pieces of gum to deception, might be a way to remember this. There you go. All right. Our next word is dalliance, and it's an action that is not serious, and most of the time it is refers to a brief romantic relationship that is not serious. So, you know, his dalliance with the girl left her heart broken because she didn't know it was a dalliance. Does that make sense? Well, you can't answer anyway. Why am I asking? All right, so let's see. Disingenuous. I don't know why, but this word really confuses me. Every time I see it, I think it means something different, but it means giving the false appearance of being honest or sincere. And I think that when you think about it, genuous, whereas if you connect that with being genuine, which is a synonym of honest and sincere, and dis would mean false, so that might be a way to remember it, disingenuous. Okay? You don't want to be this. All right. You may think that you will never hear this, but I actually see and hear it a lot on the news. Encomium, often talking with, or when you hear them talking about politics, that there were encomiums for whatever piece of legislation. But it's glowing and enthusiastic praise. Okay? He received encomiums for the work he did on his essay for Ms. Zongker about Hamlet. Hey, all right. All right, speaking of Hamlet, grandiloquence. This seems appropriate for Polonius. So a lofty, pompous, grand style or manner, especially in language. And I mean, this is what Polonius aims for. We all, of course, know that 'tis wit, 'tis true, 'tis true, 'tis mad, blah, blah, blah. It's not. But he is looking to be grand and grandiloquent. That is the adjective form. Okay? All right. I don't think there's any French words today. Sorry for those of you who like le français. All right, here we go. Impugn. It's a verb. It means to criticize by suggesting that someone is not honest and shouldn't be trusted. And you hear a lot of this going with politics too. They impugn one another, saying they're not their opponent isn't to be trusted, isn't honest. And we all know they're none of them honest, so whatever. Ooh, cynical. Impugn. Impugn, not impugn. Okay? Okay, here's a great word. Oh, you know what? I wonder if we've had this one before. Oh well, if we did, lucky you. Largesse. It just means generosity. Okay? Not large ass. Largesse. Synonym for generosity. I really feel like we've had this like in set 1. Oh well, there you go. Here's a great word, especially for second semester seniors. To malinger. It means, ooh, I'm going to scroll that up. It means to pretend to be sick or injured in order to avoid work or responsibility. So if you call in sick, you don't come to school because you just don't feel like it, you are malingering. Now you have a verb for it, and you actually have a noun because you are a malingerer, which is kind of hard to say, but cool. I love that there's words for such specific things. Okay, our next word. I think this word sounds like what it means. If you are obstreperous, You are difficult to control and aggressively noisy. This is why I don't teach freshmen, because I think that they are obstreperous, a little aggressively noisy for my tastes. So, obstreperous. Woo! All right. Opprobrium. It's kind of the opposite of encomium. It is very strong disapproval or criticism of a person or thing, usually by a large group of people. So, for example, Obamacare got a lot of opprobrium when it came out and continues to do so. So a lot of disapproval and criticism. Opprobrium. Opposition. That might be a way to remember it. Opposition, disapproval. Look at me coming up with stuff just out of my head. Okay, a peccadillo is a small mistake or fault not considered very bad or serious, or a small offense, a small sin, a peccadillo. And I actually don't know Spanish, but I think that this ILLO in Spanish is often a diminutive form, which is smaller. So if you think about that, of course, I always think about armadillos, which are kind of small animals, I think, but I can't really connect that to a sin. But I like to think about armadillos nonetheless. Peccadillo, a small sin. We actually came across this in one of our soliloquies or somewhere from Hamlet. Pernicious. He says, "Oh, pernicious woman." And it means causing great harm or damage in a way that is not easily seen or noticed. So if you call someone a pernicious woman, that means that she is kind of underhandedly, slyly damaging. Pernicious. Pernicious little snit. I think that sounds like a good, I don't know. All right, I really need another pot of coffee before I do this, but such is life. Perspicacity. You want to have perspicacity, and it means the ability to understand things that are difficult or not obvious. If you're getting Hamlet, you have perspicacity, which means you are a perspicacious person. Isn't that a great word? Okay. Yes, I pride myself on my perspicacity and knowing the word for it. All right. Our next word, picayune, and it's an adjective, which just means that something is trivial or not valuable or important. Okay. So if you think that, I can't even think, picayune. I'm leaving it at that because I'm just, yeah, this light should be a little higher. There we go. Okay, profligate means carelessly and foolishly wasting money or resources or anything really. So if you are a profligate spender, it means you are out there just spending left and right on stupid stuff, nothing to show for it, what have you. Hopefully that's not who you are. Okay, profligate. It's an adjective. Here's another fabulous one, and we'll have cause to use this pretty soon in our literature, but sanctimonious. And it means someone who pretends to be morally better than others, hypocritically pious or devout. Okay, so that kind of holier than thou attitude. Okay, sanctimonious. What a great word. And I think that if you think about sanctified, to sanctify, you know, if you connect that to morals and church, I don't know. It's a stretch, but maybe that'll help someone. Okay. Sine qua non, it's Latin, and it means something that is absolutely needed. Like, to me, dessert is sine qua non to any good meal, obviously. Okay. And Latin people could probably tell us, but I bet this has something to do, something you can't do without. It's absolutely needed, essential. All right, here's a verb, tergiversate, and it means to repeatedly change one's actions or opinions on a subject, or to avoid a clear-cut or straightforward action or opinion. Okay, so this top one is kind of, you know, just someone being wishy-washy, going back and forth, like I do a lot. But then the bottom one is a little more, God, I can't think of words. Sunday morning is not a good time to do this. Anyway, a little more reprehensible because it's someone avoiding giving a clear-cut opinion. Lots of politicians do this. Tergiversate. Yeah. I'm not feeling so happy about politicians right now. I have a visceral response to that. And visceral, it means coming from strong emotions, not logic or reason. And if you study anatomy or anything, the viscera is a word for your innards, your internal organs and stuff. So if you think about it, it just means coming from the gut, okay? Not from the head. There you go, visceral. Speaking of the gut, let's move on to our fun bonus words. Abdominus. It means big-bellied, okay? It sounds fancier, but if you want to, insult someone by saying they have a big gut, say, you're a little abdominus. English helps you insult people. Okay? Here's another adjective to insult people. If someone is louche, they have questionable taste or morality. Okay? So, you don't want to be louche. Questionable taste or morality. We'll actually come across some characters that we can use this for too. All right, best word of the semester. Here you go. Quattupigia. It is the shaking of the buttocks while walking. Everyone needs this word pretty much every day. Shaking of the buttocks while walking. You can observe lots of quattupigia as you walk down the halls of Olathe North. There you go. And now you have a word for it. Are you there? Okay, my computer's being strange. All right, 2 more words. Snollygoster is an unprincipled but shrewd person. So someone who manipulates things. I think a lot of politicians, again, going back to my theme of politicians, a lot of politicians are snollygosters. They have no principles, but they're very shrewd and they know how to work things. Snollygosters. And another perfect one for politicians. A taradiddle. A fib or pretentious nonsense. Actually, this would work really well for Polonius as well. Lots of pretentious nonsense. His whole thing about he's mad, madness it is, because mad means madness. Okay, thanks a lot, Polonius. But anyway, a taradiddle is a fib or pretentious nonsense. I think this might be a cat-free video because I think they're all, oh wait, we could, if you look behind me here. Where is he? There's Hector up there on the cat tree. He blends in with the cabinet because he's black. But anyway, they're all sleeping. Who knows where? It's Sunday morning. Anyway, this group of words will have the quiz on Friday. So there you go. Have a nice Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow.